got a spoilery question, so I think I'll maybe ask it off air. But so Peter does something or has a thought in chapter 2 that just shocked me in Pax: A Journey Home. Like, Peter, no, I spent a whole book with you, and now you would think this dastardly thought, but you know what? I'll tease that out, and
Okay.
esteemed audience will find that on their own. I did want to ask, you have said that you started thinking about Pax: Journey Home because you were getting so many letters and feedback from readers asking you what happens to the characters after the fact. Tell us more. So how did you thought there was going to be a second book when you wrote the first one, or when did it occur to you that, oh no, there's a whole other story here and I need to keep this going?
No, I was sure that there wouldn't be. In fact, I left the ending to Pax leaves room for something to happen in the next few days after the book ends, and the reader is allowed to fill in what might happen in the next few hours or the next few days. And I wanted that on purpose because I thought, okay, this is a tough book to get through. My reader deserves to have what happens after the end of the book be allowed. So I made room for that. You know what I mean, right? You know how the book ends, and that a couple of different things could have happened after my ending that would be legitimate. Okay, so that's how I left it on purpose, and I knew there was not going to be a sequel. And I was ready for all of these readers to say, but what happens afterwards? What happens afterwards? But one day I got a phone call from my agent, and he had gotten one letter. Somehow a letter ended up with him. And he said, oh my gosh, this reader really wants to know. And I laughed. I said, no, Stephen, they all want to know. All of my letters say, but I want to tell you what I think happens afterwards. And I just happened to say what I just said to you, which is, I did that on purpose, and that's the way I want it. And then I said to him, but of course, I know what happens. And he said, oh, really? What happens? And I started talking, and I started saying this and that. And as I'm going along, I heard myself describing an entire story. Everything I just knew. It's how I did it so that I could leave the book. I made up what they did afterwards, right? And he was quiet. And I knew then when I hung up, I said, I'll bet he's going to call my editor and he's going to tell her this. And sure enough, a couple of days later, he said, okay, I don't know if I was supposed to do this or not, but I told your editor and she would like a phone call. So that's how it happened, is they said, you have written a whole other book. Could you please just put it down on paper? And I did, because I realized I really wanted to be a fox again. I loved that. I loved imagining this world. And it's a very beautiful world. They're out in nature all the time. I wanted to do that again. That's the only reason I said, okay, and I did it. It really surprised me, though. I never planned to do it. I'm so glad, because Pax is about what happens during war, right? And those are hard things. Pax Journey Home is what happens afterward, and all the hopeful, really good things that you can do afterward.